So now 22, this is a masterpiece. Sri Aurobindo writes, God struck me with a human hand. Shall I say then, I pardon thee thy insolence, O God? God struck me with a human hand. The same person who was nasty to me or whatever is finally God striking me with a human hand. Shall I say then, I pardon thee thy insolence, O God? Sri Aurobindo saying this tongue in cheek. Aphorism 23. God gave me good in a blow. Shall I say, I forgive thee, O Almighty One, the harm and cruelty, but do it not again? So a disciple asks Mother, what does this mean? God struck me with a human hand. Mother says, these two aphorisms are illustrations of the affirmation of the divine presence in all things and all beings. And they also develop the idea, which has already been touched on, that there is nothing and no one to forgive, since the divine is the originator of all things. This is how this sentence, God struck me with a human hand, should be read and understood. If you see nothing but appearances, it is only one man hitting another. If you see appearance, it is me hitting you, for instance. But for one who sees and knows the truth, it is the Supreme Lord who gives the blow through the human hand. And the blow necessarily does good to the one who receives it. That is to say, brings about a progress in his consciousness, for the ultimate aim of creation is to awaken all beings to the consciousness of the divine. Once you have understood that, the rest of the two aphorisms are easily explained. So, I think we've said this story in earlier classes. This is a true story with the mother. There was once a lady who had a very big, a very terrible toothache and a very big swelling. And the mother was in her body and she went to see her. And mother looked at her fiercely and gave her a tight slap. And the lady was so hurt that her mind was saying this story. This is the most wicked woman in the world. I'm taking the next train out of here and going. I'm in so much pain, and she slapped me, and she was crying, 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 going down. And somebody had seen her come in, and they looked at, and there was this big swelling, and they said, oh, but what's happened to your swelling? Then she realized there was no toothache and swelling. So mother had actually slapped the energy of whatever causing the toothache out of her. But we'll see, in her mind there was this narrative, is this mother, how cruel, this, that, whatever. And it was so justified and real for her that she didn't even notice that her pain was gone. So we are so caught up now. This was the Divine Mother and it was a physical slap. Now, through many instruments, Mother will give us different kinds of blows. And we get so caught up in the narratives we build that we don't look at the actual good it's doing us or it has done us in the moment. So if you see nothing but appearances, it is only one man hitting another. But for one who sees and knows the truth, it is the Supreme Lord who gives the blow through the human hand. And the blow necessarily does good to the one who receives it. That is to say, brings about a progress in his consciousness. For the ultimate aim of creation is to awaken all beings to the consciousness of the divine. Once you have understood that, the rest of the two aphorisms are easily explained. Are we to forgive the Lord for the good he does, while at the same time asking him not to do it again? That's what the aphorism said. No, God gave me a good blow, a blow to do me good. Shall I say, I forgive thee, Almighty, the harm, the cruelty, but do it not again? So, mother saying, are we to forgive the Lord for the good he does us while giving us the blow, while at the same time asking him not to do it again? The self contradiction and stupidity of such a formula are obvious. Aphorism 24. When I pine at misfortune and call it evil, or am jealous and disappointed, then I know there is awake in me again the eternal fool. So, mother explains, if you act in order to obtain a result, and if the result obtained is not the one you expected, you call this misfortune. So, brilliantly, she's put it, no, you want one result, but you get another result. You call this misfortune. As a general rule, any event that is unexpected or feared is considered by ordinary minds to be a misfortune. Why does this misfortune come? In each case, the reason is different, or rather, it is only after the event that the need to explain things makes us look for reasons. But most often, our evaluation of circumstances is blind and mistaken. We judge in ignorance. See, the lady had gone up to the mother expecting solace, expecting a caress, and she got a slap. So, in her mind, it was a misfortune. But we judge in ignorance. She judged in ignorance. It is only later on, sometimes, very much later on, that we have the necessary perspective and view the train of events and the overall results, that we see things as they really were. Then we perceive that what seemed bad to us was in truth very useful and helped us to make the necessary progress. So, actually, think of this: every irritating, annoying person in our life is the very thing that helps us to make the necessary progress.